This is a random story, but it's not for kids, so I advise not reading it to young children. This is a story of gore, a story of sex, a story of unnecessary harsh language. Well, I guess you better buckle up because you're in for an awakening. Once there was a little boy named Jeff who lived with his mom and dad. He had no friends, no siblings, and at times not even the devil to talk to. His parents were too wrapped up in their own worthless lives to care about his. So one day at the breakfast table, Jeff asked the question that puts the "where do babies come from" question to shame. Can we go to the animatronic establishment down the road? Of course, neither Mom or Dad were paying attention to their boy. Mom was too busy glaring at Dad, and Dad was reading the paper pretending Mom wasn't there. Mom and Dad had been fighting lately, you see. Dad spent too much time at work and less time working Mom over to bed. They probably hadn't spoken a word to each other in a week, and yet somehow God must have smiled down upon that house because both parents chorused a yes despite not actually knowing what question was being asked. Happily, Jeff thanked them and went straight to bed, despite the fact that it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So the following morning, Jeff and his parents took their shitty car down to Lucky's Diner / Cabaret. I'm sorry. A sign out on the front window read, "Open. P.S. Thanks for bringing your fucking kids." As soon as the family pulled up, their engine gargled its last ounce of gas and died. I need to stop laughing, or I'm not going to ever get this story done. Mom and Dad spent a few minutes yelling at one another for not taking the damn thing to the mechanic, but eventually everyone went in. Inside was quite a sight, to say the least. There was the aroma of reheated pizza mixed with the smells of sweat, oil, shit, and diapers that probably hadn't been changed in hours. Kids were swinging off the lights that hung above each table, throwing pizza at one another and at the onstage animatronic band, and pretty much turning any blunt object you could imagine into a weapon to use against each other. Despite the out-of-control war zone that was taking place in front of them, Jeff's parents were either too lazy or too stupid to turn back. A waiter came out of the bathroom wiping brown I'm sorry, guys. Wiping brown crud on his shirt and escorted Jeff's family to their seats. In the wedges of the booth, Jeff could see old bubble gum and an odd concoction of warped food, crayons, and blood. Mom and Dad ordered a pizza and then went back to looking at their phones. After about 10 minutes, the kids finally shut the hell up when the animatronics started to perform. Lucky the Rabbit, Foxy the Pirate, Chuck E. Cheese, and Flumpty the Egg Boy sung a rendition of Tainted Love that was supposed to sound like Marilyn Manson's version, but due to the lackluster care the animatronics received, it sounded more like Drunk Faggots. Drunk Faggots had a gangbang. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know if I can keep reading this. Oh, God. Jeff danced to the song anyway. Some of the other kids did too, but a lot of them either cried or decided to throw chairs at the robots. Mom actually put down her phone for a second to watch them, but Dad was too busy trying to find the Wi-Fi connection on his. Oddly, Lucky sung a little better each time she looked at him. When their pizza arrived, it was as stiff as a board and wasn't even cut. Mom was furious and told Dad to go ask the waiter to bring them a cutter or something. When he didn't move or react, Mom ran over to the kitchen herself. Jeff thought he'd go play in the funhouse while he waited. He crawled into the plastic tubes, which reeked of socks, vomit, and piss. He tried to talk to some of the other children, but they just shoved him aside and said, "Move it, tits." When Jeff came back, Mom grabbed him by the ear and sat him back down. "Don't you ever wander off like that again," she barked. Jeff replied, "Yes, adult female authoritative figure." They still couldn't cut their They still couldn't cut their pizza because the waiter said the cutters were all dirty and that people would have to wait until there were clean ones. Mom was in a pretty bad mood. She picked up the pizza a bit before looking over at Dad. Jeff jumped when she leaned over the table and plucked Dad's phone away. She took one glance at it before getting into a heated argument with him. Even though Mom was hiding the phone in her lap, Jeff could see words like enhancers and Daddy's fresh buns, not knowing what that meant. And then all of a sudden, the animatronics were allowed to come off the stage. The kids all recoiled, multiple children fighting to hide under the tables at once. Jeff was a little frightened, but he was also curious. Lucky came right over to their table. "You guys need anything?" the rabbit asked in a robotic tone. Jeff felt his heart drop into his stomach when the robot's eyes flickered over him. "Yeah," Mom answered. "Know where any pizza cutters are?" Lucky took his time before replying. "I might know. Be right back." When he said back, it sounded heavily distorted. Lucky was gone for a few minutes before returning. He held an arm that was drizzling blood. He held a pizza cutter. "Here, miss," Lucky said, dropping the arm in Mom's lap. Mom blushed. She asked, "May I get some napkins, please?" When Lucky left, they were finally able to cut and eat the pizza, tossing the arm aside for their dog. Lucky came back with napkins. When the rabbit turned to leave, Mom said, "Thanks, Lucky. You do everything I tell you, huh?" The animatronic turned to her, staring and staring. "Can you smash this for me?" Mom asked, handing Lucky Dad's phone. "What? No," Dad yelled, but it was too late. It was too late. Lucky threw the phone into the air. It soared like a teenage porn star, but like all porn stars, crashed into thousands of glass shards. Jeff laughed. "That was cool." Dad leapt up and punched Lucky, but it didn't even faze the animatronic. Instead, it broke Dad's wrists. "Ow," Dad screamed, clutching his broken knuckles. "Son of a motherfucking bitch." Mom smirked. "That really was stupid of you," she told Dad. "Maybe next time you won't be texting 15-year-old girls." Lucky was about to leave again when Mom caressed his arm. "Thanks, Lucky." The robot once again gazed at her unblinking before rejoining his band. Jeff's parents fought again. Finally, Mom got up and said she had to go to the bathroom. Jeff was quiet for a while because he didn't want to further agitate Dad. Then Dad said, "I think I need to go to a hospital." His knuckles were bleeding so much now that some blood had pooled onto the table. "Can you go get some more napkins?" Dad asked. Jeff said yes, then went off to find Lucky. He couldn't find the rabbit anywhere. Thankfully, Foxy gave him some and Jeff returned to his table. As Jeff and Dad waited and waited, Mom didn't come back. Dad paid for the pizza and said, "Jeff, maybe me and your mom should get a divorce." Jeff was excited. A divorce meant 2 birthdays, 2 Christmases, and everyone kissing his ass if he was in a broken home. "Oh boy, Dad," Jeff cried. "Divorce!" Some of the other kids around their table clapped in congratulations. "Wow," one boy said. "I didn't realize you were divorcing your dad." In spite of himself, Jeff punched that little snot's lights out. It was a full-on brawl after that. Adults were the ones hiding under the tables as a battle ensued between children and animatronics. Lights were smashed, windows were shattered, food was both thrown and devoured, and punches flew. In the middle of the fight, Mom came back staggering and moaning. She looked sweaty and out of breath. "Let's go home now," she panted. Lucky was back on stage too, rocking slowly back and forth. He straightened his bow tie, which was crooked, and lit a cigarette. He puffed some smoke, watching the unholy shit that took place in his restaurant. Then he pulled out an air horn and raised it above his head. Everyone fell to the floor hissing like cats from its frequency. "Good," Lucky said. "Now that I got you bitches' attention, I'd like every single one of you to start cleaning this place up right now, or else nobody will get any free dessert." There were some complaints, but for the most part the children and animatronics did as they were told. Jeff helped too, and before he knew it, everyone had a free chocolate fudge sundae to take home with them. Lucky watched them go. On the ride home, Dad was using Mom's phone to call a divorce lawyer, and Mom was daydreaming and mumbling something under her breath. This was the best day ever, Jeff said to himself as he fell asleep in the back seat.